We continue now at the top of Daf Lamed Zayin Amud Aleph and Mesechet Kesubos. This is Kesubos Daf 37a. The Gemara here continues. V'sava Rabbi Yehuda b'ktushasa kaima. Is it really true that Rabbi Yehuda holds if you have a situation of a woman who's held captive that she remains in her state of kedusha, meaning to say that we assume she's not violated? V'atanya, but we learned in a brayso as follows: Hagiores shenisgaira. Let's say you have a woman who converts. V'roas adam, and then she sees blood. Rashi over here says v'roas adam bo bayom, meaning that day she sees blood. We're talking about a situation where she becomes a nida on that very day. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Daya Shaita. Rabbi Yehuda says just from that time, that's when we assume the items that she touches are tameh. Rabbi Yossi Omer, Rabbi Yossi says Harei kechol hanashim. No, she's treated like any other woman who sees blood. Umetama me'es la'es umipekida lepekida, and therefore she's tameh retroactively. Me'es la'es means back 24 hours, a 24-hour period. Mipekida lepekida means from the last time she inspected. Utzricha lahamtin gimel chadashim, and then the brayso also says that she needs to wait 3 months until she gets married. Divrei Rabbi Yehuda, that's the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yossi mater layores v'linase miyad. Rabbi Yossi says no, she can be betrothed and she can get married even immediately. Rashi over here says Daya Shaita. Again, this was the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. Daya Shaita means v'lo gazru batumas me'es la'es latame taharos shenoga bahen mishas tvilat shasriya. We don't say that things are going to be tameh retroactively 24 hours before, meaning anything tar that she touched, we're going to say is going to be tameh until this time period. Because even if the blood really did come out from yesterday, and let's say it was held up within the womb, that is the reason by Jewish women why we say that retroactively things within the last 24 hours that they touched are tameh. But over here she's a convert, and so therefore if there was blood before, that's kedam behema. That's not the same as dam nida. It doesn't create that tumah. And Rashi continues, Vim Tomer, if you're going to ask as follows, if you're going to say maybe we should be afraid that really from the moment that she immersed herself, that's when the blood came out, and therefore we should say, at least from that point in time, we should say that there was tumah. So Rashi says, the whole halacha of retroactive tumah is only d'Rabbanan. So Rashi says, if you have a situation where it's at least shaykh in order to make the decree, where it's relevant to make a decree 24 hours, so then you can also talk about mipekida lepekida, make a decree from the last moment, let's say where she inspected herself. But if you don't have that gezerah me'es la'es, you don't have the gezerah mipekida lepekida also, and therefore you're not going to say retroactively, you're not going to say 24 hours back retroactively, and you're also not going to say from the moment of tevilah, you're not going to say retroactively tumah in that case as well. That again, that was Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. Rabbi Yossi said she's like all women and there is a retroactive tumah. And then the brayso said utzricha lahamtin gimel chadashim. She needs to wait 3 months. Shalotinase, she should not get married for 3 months. Lahavchen ben zera hanizra b'kedusha lazera hanizra shalo b'kedusha, because maybe she was pregnant when she was not Jewish. We're going to have to identify who this child is from, and therefore if she waits 3 months before she gets married, then we're going to know that she had a child again either before she converted or after she converted. We'll be able to determine that if she waits that 3 months. Rabbi Yossi matter, but Rabbi Yossi says no, she can get married right away. L'kamei mefarish time. The reason is going to be explained later on why it is that she's allowed to get married right away. But in any case, what does it say over here? It says over here that the Giores, according to Rabbi Yehuda, she has to wait 3 months. Why? Because we are concerned that maybe she had relations. So the same thing should be true by a captive. We should be concerned that she was violated. So Amar Lei, so he said back to him, what kind of question is that in Rabbi Yehuda? Giores ashvuya karamis. You're saying a contradiction between a convert and a shvuya, a woman who's held captive. You can't compare the two. Giores lo minter anafshe. By Giores, she doesn't watch herself. She's not careful not to have relations. But shavuya minter anafshe. But if you have a girl, a Jewish girl who's held captive, she's going to protect herself. She's going to guard herself. You cannot compare one to the other. And the Gemara continues, V'rami shvuya shvuya. But we do have a contradiction when it comes to a captive, to another case where it talks about a situation of a captive. The Tanya, as we learned in a brayso, Hagiores v'ashvuya v'ashifcha. If you have a situation of a convert or a captive or a maidservant, sheniftu v'shenisgairu v'shenishtachru, they were redeemed, they converted, or they were freed. Yiseiros al benos gimel shanim v'yom echad. And again, they're greater, they're older than 3 years old in a day. Tzrichos lahamtin gimel chadashim divrei Rabbi Yehuda. Again, they need to wait 3 months. According to Rabbi Yehuda, they may have gotten pregnant before, and therefore, if they're going to get married, if they're going to have relations, they have to wait 3 months. Rabbi Yossi matir le'ares v'linase miyad, and Rabbi Yossi again, he says it's mutter for them to be betrothed and to get married immediately. And Rashi over here says, Tzrichos lahamtin, again, the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda over here was they do have to wait the 3 months. Now, even though here we're talking about a minor, she's only a girl over 3 years old, but she's still a minor, and really a minor cannot get pregnant. But according to Rabbi Yehuda, we make a decree by a katana because of a case of a gedola. But in any case over here in this brisa, it says clearly we're talking about a shvuya, and apparently there is a concern that the shvuya was violated. So we do have a contradiction within Rabbi Yehuda. And so the Gemara continues, Amar Lei, he said back to him, Midi Shmi Alach Baha, did you hear anything about resolving this contradiction? Amar Lei, so he said to him, Hachi Amar Rav Sheshes, this is what Rav Sheshes said in reference to this brisa, Shara'ua Shenivala, the case is that they actually saw that she had relations, there was evidence that she had relations, and that's why we are strict according to Rabbi Yehuda in this particular case. But the Gemara says, Hachi, if so, if there's evidence that she had relations, so my time with Rabbi Yossi, what's the reason of Rabbi Yossi? Why is he so lenient to allow her to marry immediately if we know that she had relations? And to that the Gemara answers, Amar Rabba says, Kosav Rabbi Yossi holds, Isha mizana mishameshes b'moch shalot sabra. When you have a woman who's having zanus, so in such a situation she uses a pad, she uses a cloth when she has relations, and it prevents her from getting pregnant, and that's why she can be lenient, or that's why we can be lenient in this situation. Rashi over here says, mishameshes b'moch nosenes moch la'achar bila. She takes a moch and she places it there right after the act of relations, v'shoeves hazera, and it absorbs up the zera, it absorbs up the seed, and therefore there's not going to be a problem of pregnancy, according to Rabbi Yossi. And the Gemara continues, Bishlam Gioris. Well, I understand when you're talking about a Gioris, a convert, Kevon the Daital Gioris, since she's having in mind to convert, so Minter Nafsha, so then she's protecting herself, she's going to use the moch. It makes sense, as Rashi says, Minter Nafshu Mizamenes La Moch. She'll prepare for herself this moch. So that answer that we're giving, it makes sense when you're talking about a Gioris. And Shvuya Nami, also when it comes to a Shvuya, Delo Yada Hecha, over there also Mamtula, as Rashi over here says, Delo Yada Hecha Mamtula, Sheboim Lemoch. They're coming to sell her. And so she thinks maybe she'll be sold to a Jew. And so therefore she's careful and she makes sure that if she has relations, she uses this moch. That's what it means over here. A shvuya also, she doesn't know where she's going after this. She's going to be careful. And shivcha nami, when it comes to a shivcha as well. The shama mipimara, let's say she hears from her master and she realizes she's going to be redeemed. So therefore in such a situation, she's going to be careful. But the Gemara says, what are you going to say by a case of a shivcha who leaves b'shein v'ayin? Meaning in a situation, let's say, where she loses her tooth or she loses her eye. In those cases, the shivcha also goes free. So what are you going to say in such a situation? She was not prepared to go free. So how do you know that she was mishameshes b'moch? As Rashi over here says, b'shein v'ayin shivcha shesima adonai. I say now, let's say you have a shivcha that her master blinded her. V'yatz l'cheiris, the halacha, she goes free. Menohav is the typical chayris, the minter nafshel zamin moch l'shimusha. How would she know originally that she was going to be going free, that she would have protected herself? So how can you apply this answer in that particular situation? And the Gemara continues, V'chitema kol memela lo amar Rabbi Yossi. Maybe you'll say that that's true in all situations that happen memela, that the person doesn't realize it's going to happen. So then Rabbi Yossi wouldn't be so lenient. Maybe he won't be so lenient by a yotze b'shein v'ayin. As Rashi says, kol memela midi delekal is dahure beimei kara. The typical chayris moder Rabbi Yossi. If a person couldn't be careful originally, they didn't realize, let's say, she didn't realize she was going to go free. Maybe Rabbi Yossi would admit in that case that you have to be strict. But that's not true. Hare anusa mafuta. What about the case of an anusa or a mafuta, a woman who was raped or a woman who was seduced? To memela, those are cases of memela. Those are cases she could not be prepared. But Tanya, yet we learned in a brisa that there Rabbi Yossi is also lenient. Anusa mafuta tzrichos lahamten gimel chadashim divrei Rabbi Yehuda. And anusa and mafuta, they also have to wait 3 months according to Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yossi mater layares v'linase miyad. But Rabbi Yossi says no, she's allowed to be betrothed and she can get married immediately. So you see, Rabbi Yossi is going to be lenient, even in a situation that's memela. And so the Gemara says, Elam Rabba, rather Rabba says, Kosav Rabbi Yossi holds, Isha Mizana, when a woman has nus, Misapeches, she turns herself over, Kadesh lo tesaber, that prevents her from getting pregnant. And so therefore, again, that's why we can be lenient. It's not something that needs to be prepared ahead of time. And the Gemara continues, V'idach, now the other opinion, Rabbi Yehuda, who is strict, Chayshiran Shemalo Nefcha Yafa Yafa often. No, we have a concern. Maybe she did not turn herself over properly, and therefore there is a concern for pregnancy. Rashi over here says, she didn't know to prepare a moch. She didn't know this was going to happen. And so finally Rabbi Yossi is lenient because he says that she turns herself over. She turns herself over so that the zera spills out of her, and therefore she's not going to become pregnant. This you can do in any situation, and they all do that, and therefore, according to Rabbi Yossi, we're allowed to be lenient. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. The Mishnah said, "Shenemar v'lo ye'ason onesh ye'enash v'chulo." The source for the fact that a person is not punished with two punishments, meaning the punishment of misa and the punishment of mammon, comes from this pasuk of v'lo ye'ason. It means to say that if there was no death penalty, so then they pay money. But if there's a death penalty, then there's no punishment of tashlumin. And the Gemara says, "V'hamei hacha nafka." But is this really learned out from the pasuk of v'lo ye'ason? Mehazam nafka. It's learned out from over there, from the following pasuk, kedei rishaso. It says in the pasuk that you punish a person for his crime. A person is punished for one crime and not for two crimes, and so therefore that is the source that there's only one punishment. And so the Gemara answers, Chada b'miso mamon v'chada b'malkusu mamon. No, you do need two psukim, because the first, again, v'lo yason, is talking about misa. It's to say that you can't get misa and mamon, you can't get both of those punishments. And the second pasuk is saying you can't get malkus and mamon. Utzricha, we need both psukim. Diyash min and miso mamon, because if we only learned that you can't get misa and mamon, misham diika ibn neshama, because that's the ultimate punishment. There's a loss of life over there, so it makes sense you can't get two punishments. Aval malkus and mamon deleko ibn neshama. When it comes to malchus and mammon, where there is no loss of life, so I would say no, maybe that's different. V'yashmin and malchus and mammon. And if I only had the case of malchus and mammon, mishum delo chamer isur, because apparently the isur which was violated isn't so strict. That's why you're only getting malchus. You're not getting the death penalty. Aval miso mammon de chamer isur. But let's say by mis and mammon, where obviously the isur that you violated was very strict. So again, I might say it's not the case. I might say you could get both punishments. So tzricha. So that's why I need psukim by both of these cases to say you're only going to get one punishment and not two punishments. And the Gemara continues. Now, what about according to Rabbi Meir, who says that a person could get malchus and have to pay money? So there is no halach of not getting two punishments by malchus. So tarti lamali. So what do I need both psukim for? Meaning, what do I need the pasuk of v'lo ye'ason and also the pasuk of kedei rishasa? Why do I need both? And to that the Gemara answers, chada b'miso mammon. One pasuk is to say that by the death penalty and by mammon you can't get both of those. And we'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Lamed Zayin Amid Beis.